and begin. Welcome to the Friday morning edition of Tennessee Valley This Morning. I'm the Hollywood Slinky. With me is Rob Alderman, who is now going to pick a topic. Are you ready? Begin.
My feet.
Good night.
Here's the deal, people. Over the last 2 weeks, there's been something going on.
Something.
We've had more comments about my feet. Some good, some bad. Share your story, Slink.
I was at the Foothills Country Fair 2 weekends ago, and I had a very young woman walk up to me. Her name was Sophia. It may have been Sophie, but we'll just call her Ms. Harris. And she said, "You're the Hollywood Slinky." And I said, "Why, yes, I am." And she said, "I love your show when Nancy Kaysen hosts it on Thursdays." Then she went on to tell me.
Or when Alan Mincy hosted on Mondays.
Right. But then she went on to say.
Or when Matt and Matt play a rerun on Wednesdays.
But then she went on to tell me that her husband, who is with the police department, and all of his police officer friends love our Friday morning show. So first of all, good morning to you, Officer Harris, and all of your pals.
Thank you for keeping it safe.
But apparently, he's got some issues with your feet.
Right.
He's requested that you cover up your ugly toes.
Right. Now here's the deal, Mr. Harris, and we appreciate you. I want to start by saying this. We appreciate you and all you do. But that same day, twice, we had, once when you told the story, once after that, unsolicited, we had 2 more people say, "We love your show, and we love your feet." So, Mr. Harris, this is the thing. We're getting to the bottom of this, Slinky, because this is important stuff.
What we need is a little Zoom action.
Hold
here,
on.
but-
Joe, can you come in here real quick? Joe? Joe?
Joe's coming.
Here's the thing, Slink. I want you, now you and I, we've been friends a long time.
Can we get a
Right?
Zoom on the toe?
Yeah, can you do me a favor? Slink, here's the thing. We've been friends a long time. And I trust you. You know, we've been through good times and some bad times. Maybe more bad times than good times, but both have happened.
If we're counting this show,
yeah,
definitely more bad.
So I need your professional opinion on these feet. Now, I'm going to tell you, I've not gone out of my way to manicure them. I've not. This is size 13s. Joseph? 13 wides. And so here's the thing, is that, yeah, look, okay, here's my feet.
A lovely bouquet.
All right, now, Slinky, in your opinion, by the way, this is for you, Mr. Harris. And so, Slinky, take a look here, and let's get to the bottom of this.
I need you specifically to show the front of this toe.
This one here? Okay, yeah. I'm going to tilt it this way.
This is the gangly one right here.
Right, but I mean, no, everyone should be entitled.
But this is the point of order, and I think that we should address.
But Mr. Harris and his police buddies were talking about the feet in general. I don't think it's fair to pick one piece of my.
Well, you typically fold
foot.
You cross your right leg onto your left knee, and that exposes the gangly toe.
Okay.
So I'm thinking that they're mistaking the singular issue as an overall problem.
But my feet on the whole, I mean,
they're very attractive feet. They're a little dirty, let's be honest.
Well, I've been wearing sandals all day.
Sure.
I'm a hard-working man.
And then there's this one.
This toe, you know,
the victim of a vicious ingrown toenail in his youth.
Yeah. So when you take a good look at this, when you really look at this toe, I mean, you don't have huge problems with these feet.
I have no problems with your left foot, and I have 1/10 of a problem. Let's say 1/5 of an issue with your right foot. Overall, a pretty good rating, though. Really.
Yeah, I mean, as far as feet go, that's 90-something%.
Yeah,
we're way
I mean,
up
it's
there.
not
99%, right?
Yeah, you know, it's not like we're looking at feet that has, you know, more corn than bourbon. You know, I mean,
we have a great show coming up. We got big news We got previews. Michelle Baker's here. Surprise! She practically co-hosts the show.
Michelle's going to be touching this toe.
Yeah, Michelle Baker's going to be here. We've got some twit flicks. We've got, we're going to talk Tommy Lee Jones. We got a lot of stuff, maybe some tiny bubbles.
But first, Joe Palo, if you could hook us up with a little...
Nature.
Nature.
Give us some nature, Joe. There's a lot. I mean, you'd be surprised at how difficult this is.
It looks like it takes some skill.
It's like my feet are starting to shake. Barely make it through.
Well, welcome back. Let's do some big news. Where's the big news come from, Ron?
The big news comes directly from the Cleveland Daily Banner to my feet. I'm going to attempt to read the big news here.
This is news with soul, people.
I'm going to tell you this. Maybe in the history of the Cleveland Daily Banner, maybe, we've never had more exciting news than what we've got today. This is big stuff, people. That's why it's labeled the big news.
This is the kind of thing that allows the Cleveland Daily Banner to go toe-to-toe with 60 Minutes.
Hey, well done.
Thank
well
you.
done. T-Dot leader to tour projects. Here's the deal. A $600,000 facelift of Belk Department Store in Bradley Square Mall was the highlight among construction permits issued in July.
That is a highlight.
Total construction value dropped slightly in the city and fell flat in the county. I'm sure they're going to blame the wheel tax. The city of Cleveland reported $3.597 million in activity, spread somewhat evenly among the three construction categories: residential, addition, and commercial. So here's really what this is about. You ready?
Yeah.
What this is actually about, Slinky, is a story.
Fresh air? Is that what it's about now?
Yeah, it was even bothering me. It's sort of like this.
Better.
This is the kind of headline that you throw out there when you're trying to distract people from something else that's exciting. Like, you put a headline like this up so that you can report something else.
On page 4.
You know what I mean? Like something else that you're hoping people gloss over because they look at T-Dot leader to tour projects. I would bet. Now, I'm not sure what the circulation of the Cleveland Daily Banner is.
6.
Okay, but let's say out of those 6, I would bet none read this article. The only person I can think of...
That's because they're all reading the Family Circus.
Well, the only person I can think of that would actually read this article would maybe be Corey Dival or Dan Howell, just to make sure that like the mayor wasn't slandered.
Dan Howell's going,
something.
Fell flat in the county. Fell flat in the county. I get married one time and construction falls flat in my county?
What I like, though, is this. I think that it definitely Belk Department Store getting a $600,000 renovation. That's going to be a heck of a Belk.
Yeah.
I'm hoping maybe it's got like a eatery inside of it.
A heck of a Belk. That's
yeah, it sure is. But I think that I've gotten to the bottom of what story this was supposed to distract us from.
All right.
And it's this one, if you're looking for excitement. Wacker VP gives plant update.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. People were like, you didn't trick us, Daily Banner. We still saw this one coming. The vice president over at Wacker, I say they're like one of those, there's lots of vice presidents.
Right.
But he provided an overview of the company and an update on the Charleston plant. Now get this, currently the project sees an average of 1,000 construction workers per day, but they're expecting it to see between 2,500 and 3,000 workers at peak construction as this thing moves through the fall.
That's pretty awesome.
I want to say, my feet aside, thanks Wacker for, bringing in jobs. And thanks, Belk, for whatever it is you're going to do.
Looking good.
That's personal.
Thanks for looking good, Belk.
Personal from me to you. In national news, it's the Olympics. I'm not going to lie to you. I really don't know that much, except for that Michael Phelps is doing good again.
Well,
we're winning some awards. Other people are winning awards.
Some diver did a belly flop onto his back. That went viral.
Ever since the tweeting athletes got busted, no one else has been tweeting. So that's no fun to talk about anymore. You got any Olympic news? Anything?
No, I watched a little bit of it, but typically all of everything that NBC is airing at night, we already know who won because we read it online during the day. I think NBC has really failed to grasp modern technology with this Olympics. As much as they attempted to going in, they were all excited. This was going to be the tweeted Olympics. And then they didn't realize.
Your first two tweets landed people in jail.
Right. And then every tweet after that made it so we didn't want to watch your coverage.
Now, here's the deal. Yeah. My Facebook page, where all the most important things happen, I can read my Facebook page, and I can tell you that the Olympics. Now, and we've talked about it. I love the Olympics. I'm more of a Winter Olympic guy. People know this. But the Olympics has definitely taken backseat to Chick-fil-A this year.
Yeah.
The big winner. Big gold medals going on to everybody involved in the Chick-fil-A scandals. Because that's where the real press is. And nothing,
Right.
In other news, the Atlantic hurricane season is fixing to get worse. With the Gulf streamies and the hot areas and the cold areas and all of these things.
The Ninas and the Nonos and the Ninos and the Nanu-Nanus.
So those of you that are in the southern part of the country near the Atlantic Ocean, we'll see you soon. Because let's be honest.
This is where they come.
Yeah, this is the part of the year where we can't get a seat at Cracker Barrel.
Right.
Because you're there and you're like, your car's packed full of your kids and your stuff, and you're like, we're going to visit my cousin. And I'm like, how come all of your cousins live on my street? But I wanted to move somewhere tropical, but I had the good sense not to.
Right. I have friends in Miami who have season passes to Dollywood, and they just, every time it's a hurricane, they just go to Gatlinburg.
Curiosity. Want to talk about it?
Sure.
Here's the deal. There's a robot.
It's on Mars.
It landed there.
It's roving.
It moves slow.
Part of it was made in Chattanooga.
It has pictures.
And most of them are blurry.
They're way worse than the pictures I could take with this iPhone, NASA.
No, it's because the dust cover is still closed.
I'm going to tell you something, Slinky. Do you remember when Rusty was like 2 and I bought him that Play School camera? And there's this rubberized camera that he could play with.
We
gave it to him.
Beat your younger son up with it, and it would still work.
When my oldest son was like 2 or 3, I got him one of those things, and he ran around the house just taking pictures. It's like one of those things where he kind of run and take a picture. He doesn't actually take a picture. It's like he would take a picture doing this, or like, I'm jumping off the couch, I'm take a picture of the dog's eye, stuff like that, and just running around, The pictures on that Play School camera were 100 times more clear. We could look at it and go, hey, it's the dog's eye.
Right.
I'm not certain that Curiosity is on Mars. I've not seen one credible photo yet that says it's on Mars. And in the most interesting national news, Randy Travis, country singer Randy Travis, was found naked, lying in the middle of the road.
Have you seen his, he was intoxicated as well. And they've arrested him. Have you seen his photo, his booking photo?
Yes.
He looks like
my toe.
It is a gangly, hideous mask.
Here's the weirdest thing about that photo. He was found on a remote stretch of highway in Texas.
The middle of nowhere.
In the middle of nowhere.
Naked.
No one knows how he got there.
Plumb naked, and he weren't wearing no clothes none, neither.
He can't remember how he got there, and his car's not there.
Right.
He's just in the middle. And it makes you wonder who was sitting at the bar and said, hey, that's Randy Travis. He's completely wasted.
Do you know what would be funny?
I have an idea.
Apparently, now I read a little while ago that they apparently found his car.
Okay.
And he had rolled it, and it was up the road a ways.
Oh, no.
Which, and the only way for him to escape the car was to strip naked.
Crawl down the highway.
Crawl down the highway.
It reminds me of my college experience.
Oh, let's do some Hollywood news.
Do it.
All right. First up, Arsenio Hall is coming back to television.
This is a tragedy.
He is getting his own television show with CBS in 2013. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
I don't think
whoop.
that you're supposed to get your own show after you failed miserably at a couple. I think that's done. I don't think you're supposed to get a third shot.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You know who I want to see get their talk show host back?
Lopez.
Oh, I was going to say Chevy Chase.
Oh, well, you were
Lopez
such a
was
Lopez
okay.
fan. You were a Lopez fan.
Lopez was all right.
You know?
Yeah.
I think you were pro.
I was pro Lopez.
Yeah, you're pro Lopez.
You know.
What else? What else we got?
Bob Hoskins, who played the lead in Who Framed Roger Rabbit, he has got Parkinson's disease and has announced that he is retiring from acting so that he can enjoy his later years before his disease onset gets too worse and he can spend time with his family. So, no, I have nothing funny to say, really.
What's a bummer is that during show prep, Sleeky says, "Hey, who's the guy that played
Eddie Valiant?"
You know, Eddie Valiant, and he says he's retiring, and I have this whole funny bit about how he's retiring, and I'm like, I've got that in the pocket. And what you failed to mention during show prep is he's retiring because of Parkinson's. Way to screw the joke over, Slinky.
You know, I'm just trying to shake things up.
Lastly,
That's
in
a
Hollywood
Parkinson's
news.
joke, just so
Lastly,
you know.
in Hollywood. Yeah, you deserve that.
Yeah.
We're going to assume Snooki's still pregnant.
Snooki is still pregnant, and it's still a boy.
We'll be right back with Michelle Baker after this.
At Crawford Pharmacy, we offer custom compounding. Our pharmacists are known for their attention to detail and unique expertise. So visit us at 2260 Chambliss Avenue, Cleveland, Tennessee. For personal assistance, walk right in or come up to our convenient drive-thru. Crawford Pharmacy, serving our community one person at a time.
Kyle Motors, 802 20th Street Southeast in Cleveland, is the place to find quality pre-owned cars and trucks. Kyle offers on-the-spot financing on all vehicles on the lot. Each pre-owned vehicle goes through a complete inspection to make sure each car and truck meets the Kyle Motors standard. Warranty and extended warranties available on all vehicles. Kyle Motors will sell you a car or truck that you will be proud to drive for many years to come. See Tony, Bill, Dale, James, or David and let them put you in your next quality pre-owned vehicle. Kyle Motors, 802 20th Street Southeast. Phone 790-7100.
Featuring some of the South's most scenic views, the Mountain View Inn has been a landmark in the Cleveland community for over 40 years. Our executive guest quarters with flat screen TVs and excellent bedding will make any guest comfortable. Carrie's Restaurant is one of Cleveland's favorite, with one of the best buffets around.
Hello, and on behalf of the Hughes family, thank you for so many years of your business and your friendship.
Thank you. Welcome back to When Good Feet Attack.
It happens.
I'm the Slinky. This is Rob Alderman. Over there is his toes.
This is terribly comfortable. So tell us. Now, Michelle, you've been on this show since before we've been on this show.
Yeah.
You were here during our very first show, and you've seen these feet
I've seen your feet, Rob.
a lot
yes.
of times.
Yes, I have, Rob.
Now, tell Officer Harris and his buddies.
Hey, Officer Harris,
The-
thank you for your service to our community.
This is right. I mean, you're as close as it gets right now.
Yeah, I'm pretty close.
You know, and this is not that bad. Now, tell them during the break, you said, "Look, your feet." You
your
said
toes aren't. Your feet aren't that bad. Your
That's
toes
right.
aren't that bad.
Can we agree that they do have a bouquet to them?
They do have a bouquet. They do have a bouquet.
really do.
Yes, yes,
Yeah, they really do.
I'm going to have to agree with Slinky on this one, about 99%.
that one's all right.
99%.
99%.
Man, I will take a 99%
All right.
foot.
That's better than Occupy Wall Street.
Yeah.
Be
Michelle,
occupying
Yes,
your
sir.
sandals.
it seems like you're probably here once a month.
You're here more than I am.
I'll be here next week, too.
That's really true.
Where are you gonna be here next week? Are you gonna be on our show next
Yes.
week?
What are we talking about next week?
Another event.
Let's talk about next week's event first.
No, we're going to talk about this week's event first. We're always doing
let's
something.
talk about this week's event, Michelle. For those of you who don't know Michelle used to be Dan Howell's co-host.
Now she is community liaison. It is what her tag says,
Liaison.
but it's spelled liaison.
I just ordered
Look, folks can see it. It's right there on the bottom of the screen.
it. Well, there it is.
It says liaison.
Right underneath my feet, officer. In other news, amount of times Rob gets speeding tickets
Increases.
Anyway, you got so much going on.
We always
up
have a lot
there.
going on.
So why don't you inform us of what your next big is?
Well, of course, I'm the community liaison of Wellington Place and Clare Bridge. Wellington Place, of course, is assisted living. Clare Bridge is our Alzheimer's and dementia care community. So we're very involved in raising money for the Alzheimer's Association, which is really a huge need, and it's growing more and more and more. And, you know, I jotted down just a few statistics. I think you know Cindy Lowry.
I do.
I know you know Cindy Lowry. She's the VP
Cindy.
of
Cindy,
Operations.
I never come on Robin Ryan's TV show live.
Ah, she was in town today. I said, "Oh,
Cindy
stick around."
suddenly quit inviting me to the Alzheimer's preparation lunches.
Well, you're invited now. I invited you.
Lowry.
Isn't that sweet? But she came and spoke at Kiwanis today, and she gave a few statistics that really just astounded me about Alzheimer's disease. 5.4 million Americans are living with Alzheimer's disease right now, and someone is diagnosed every 68 seconds. It just amazes me, the numbers that we're going to be dealing with. Alzheimer's disease.
Do you have your stopwatch?
I don't even want to get into it. Yeah, that was like the
You know, if
most
you think about it, I
morbid
mean, really.
statistic.
I know, it's
sitting here,
terrible.
We were
like,
both looking at one another going, should we let everyone know every time someone is diagnosed?
Well, I
it's-
know
it's
because
crazy.
You know, you're torn between the funny and the really not funny when you're on this show.
Yeah.
You know, and there's.
And here I am. Here I'm
Alzheimer's
talking-
diagnosed.
Oh, Lord, here we go.
Oh my goodness.
All right, let me give the other statistics. That it is. This one's even more terrible, I think. It is the states, and it is the only one in the top 10 that there is no way to cure it, slow it. You know, you have the medications that sometimes work to slow it, but they don't always slow it. So it is the only one of the top 10 leading causes of death in the United States that does not have a cure. The good thing is, let me throw a little positive in. We had the Alzheimer's Association.
You know what's funny?
What's funny?
Nothing about Alzheimer's.
No,
'cause
nothing about
isn't
Alzheimer's is funny.
What's funny is I just realized like this show just got super awkward like a Dan Howell.
I know!
Like
Who's
a
wrong?
Dan Howell or an Alan Mincy show. Like where like when the guest says something and Mincy goes we got
Love Alan.
Alzheimer's diagnosed.
we got nothing. We got nothing. Like
But you know, the good thing that and with all the negative I've just said, is you have the Alzheimer's Association, who their mission is to find a cure, to raise money for research to find a cure. They're looking at very good possibility of some trials that are coming through, that they're looking at, hearing more about it in 2013. So, it's like when breast cancer 20 years ago, nobody wanted to talk about it. There wasn't really a good cure rate. But, 20 years ago, 20 years from then, the cure rate's really good.
There were probably like really awkward television shows where they gave the statistics for breast cancer and the two
and it threw the hosts off. So
now I will say this, Michelle, and this is well known. This is my favorite, and it's tough. I don't like to take favorites, especially now that we're a couple of high-profile television.
Right, we're very famous
television stars. So I don't like to take favorites,
especially now that we get recognized at the Foothills Country Fair.
Right, that's right.
More important to stay.
Foothills Country.
This is the thing. Ooh, that was Dan Howley. Well done.
This was Dan C.
And she's got notes.
Yeah,
I do have notes.
Just like Dan.
Thank you,
How do you
Dan.
feel? How do you feel about talking monkeys?
Talking monkeys? Kind of freaky to me.
All right.
You're not all the way Dan yet.
He loves the
Here's the
talking
thing.
monkeys.
It is not good to pick a favorite because there's so many great events, and we always
There
talk
really
about
are.
all of them. You've got Operation Christmas Child, and it's fantastic.
It
You've
is.
got American Cancer Society and all their events, and those are wonderful, and the community really comes out to all these events.
Right.
But it is no secret that for the last 6 or 7 years, this is my personal favorite event in Cleveland.
It is fun. And,
it is a fun event that really makes a difference. It's not overdone. It's not one of these things where you spend your whole world doing it all day, but it really, the impact, the stats are there, the impact is there, and you get to meet a lot of people who are dealing with this disease, either as victims of it themselves, or, one of the statistics that doesn't get talked about a lot, but has to do with the caregivers.
Yeah.
And the caregivers, if you are a caregiver of someone with Alzheimer's or dementia, then your life expectancy goes down greatly. Because of the stress that is included in caring for these people. It's a wonderful, wonderful event, and it has grown every single year.
Yes,
it's gotten bigger and better every single year. It's so much fun. And so for those of you out there, I mean, really, it's a Saturday morning. The weather's always great. It's kind of like
always great.
It is the opposite of the American Cancer Society Relay for Life,
where it's always tornado.
Always a tornado,
tornadoes,
right?
yeah.
It's always a tornado there, but it's always wonderful.
Yeah.
And now
it's such a good.
And now this year, my understanding is they're not doing it on the track at
No.
the school.
Yeah, they're not.
They're actually just doing it on the greenway.
On the greenway.
So it's a great opportunity for everybody to come out and see how cool the new greenway is.
Well, and you're not going to have to cross the street there at Raider Drive. You're going to be right there at the First Tennessee Bank building.
Right.
So they're going to have booths. It's really going to be a great event.
The thing that I love about it is that I get to bring my dog.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a chance to come out with your dog and your whole family and just kind of hang out with a bunch of other people who have their dogs there and stuff, and it's really fun.
It's wonderful. It's family friendly.
It is very
My
family
boys
friendly.
have always enjoyed it. It's
I've
one of
seen you
their
there with your
favorite,
boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of their favorite events, and we've been going to it ever since it was out of Bradley.
And there's usually free bananas.
That's true, and water.
Right.
And we always do purple snow cones.
Yeah. Well, it was cold. Wasn't it cold last year?
It was cold last year. It was windy. It was windy, so it made it a little cooler.
The snow cones were a little
I
cool.
love
Yeah.
that one, though. Yeah,
But
that one was a
usually
good
good.
one. The kids had fun with the snow cones.
Yeah.
So if you don't have a team yet,
If
where
you
do
don't
go?
have
What
a
do you
team
wanna
yet, you can contact me at 473-7300. You can contact the Alzheimer's Association at 836-3600. Isn't that
Well
right?
done.
Isn't that right? Okay, thank you. And two, if you want to get a team together, it's a great opportunity for churches, for families. A lot of families, if you've been affected by the disease, you can raise a lot of money for research. One other thing you can do is you can come and support Clare Bridge. We're doing a yard sale and a car wash. Bring your cars by, guys, Saturday. I will wash your cars personally on Saturday
Slinky doesn't
for a
normally
donation.
let people wash his car because he doesn't have a back window. Can you
well,
wash the front of the car?
We can just wash the front of it for you.
Will you be in short shorts?
No, I will be in long shorts.
Because what just happened on this show?
Because normally, when you see these fundraising car washes,
Wait just a minute.
right, it's the attractive young women in their short shorts, and I thought, you know, she's an attractive young woman, but maybe it's time she, you know, step it up and wash the cars.
Listen, Mr. Michelle Baker, I don't want any part of the slinky asking your wife to wear the short shorts at the. Listen.
I just thought it was the required
I may
summertime car wash
I may
uniform.
stick my feet in your wife's face, but I will never, ever ask your wife to wear the short shorts. Everybody knows I wear the short shorts around here.
So the answer to that is no.
Oh, well, all right.
Well, lady, Slinky would like
I've
to
always got Doc Carball's parade of
I
homes.
was gonna say, Slinky would like to know. Slinky would like to know if any of the Clarebridge residents will be in short shorts.
They will not be in short shorts, but they will be participating. That's one thing we always do. They're always involved in everything we do.
In all seriousness, though, so the residents come out and they help wash the cars? And
They're probably not going to come watch the cars,
But they help
they'll
with the
come
event?
out. And
That's
they'll,
awesome.
You know, and be involved in different
That's
things
very cool.
that they can do.
Goodness, it's that time, right?
It is.
I mean, this is the best event. It is the best event.
And it's actually going to be held a little bit earlier this year. They've moved it to September the 22nd.
So a little less cold.
Yeah.
So a
a little
little bit less
little
cold.
warmer in the morning. You
Or
know.
was that so that it wouldn't be up against anything else?
They changed
so that
it
way
around
you don't
a
have
little
to
bit.
choose between it and that other thing that always happens.
And
I
that, you know,
can't
I can't remember which
I can't
one it
remember
is
what the
either.
thing is.
Isn't it Nellie Bipper?
No, it's
thought it
another
was.
fundraiser. It's like a women's group something.
It's something, but you know, we don't want you to have
I think
to
it's an
choose.
anti-abortion thing.
Well, and
could
we don't
happen.
want you to have to choose because, I mean, like you were saying, there are so many events here in the area, and they all are very deserving.
And now you can stop Alzheimer's and cancer.
You can do both.
We're not going to make you choose.
No.
Not
That's how
around
we,
here.
that's how we roll.
So, what else you got? Anything else?
I'm going to be back next week to talk about another event, but I'm not going to tell you about it today.
Don't tell us about
People
it
at
today.
home are drooling with
Aren't
anticipation.
you? Aren't you?
Well, that's my feet.
and
That's my feet.
I'm going to hope maybe, well, no, it rained. Yeah, never mind.
Well, Michelle, thank you for being on the show
Well, thank you.
again.
Again.
And we'll have you back next week again because we're not going to book guests. I mean, if there's a guest that's willing to call us and say they'll be on the show,
We may
Get
just-
Dan back on here
hey,
again.
tell you what, you do us a favor.
Okay, let me book your
We're
guest
gonna
next
we
week.
let you be on twice in a row. Can you get
Okay.
us another guest for next week?
All right, I'll get you another guest for next week.
High five.
But we don't want to know. We don't want
We don't want to know who it is.
Just roll up with them.
We don't want to know who it is. But it can't be somebody from Clarebridge, and they do have to have something to talk about.
Like something different than what you're talking
All right, so we'll be back next week
With mystery
Michelle
guest.
and mystery guest.
about. Michelle Baker.
We're about to go to commercial, and when we come back, we're going to talk about the Twitflix.
That's right. So don't go away unless you have to go to work or unless you are offended by us.
If you have a boss that's cool about letting you be late to work.
then hang around. Stick around.
Kyle Motors, 802 20th Street Southeast in Cleveland, is the place to find quality pre-owned cars and trucks. Kyle offers on-the-spot financing on all vehicles on the lot. Each pre-owned vehicle goes through a complete inspection to make sure each car and truck meets the Kyle Motors standard. Warranty and extended warranties available on all vehicles. Kyle Motors will sell you a car or truck that you will be proud to drive for many years to come. See Tony, Bill, Dale, James, or David and let them put you in your next quality pre-owned vehicle. Kyle Motors, 802 20th Street Southeast. Phone 790-7100.
Featuring some of the South's most scenic views, the Mountain View Inn has been a landmark in the Cleveland community for over 40 years. Our executive guest quarters with flat screen TVs and excellent bedding will make any guest comfortable. Carrie's Restaurant is one of Cleveland's favorite, with one of the best buffets around.
Hello, and on behalf of the Hughes family, thank you for so many years of your business and your friendship.
At Crawford Pharmacy, we offer custom compounding. Our pharmacists are known for their attention to detail and unique expertise. So visit us at 2260 Chambliss Avenue, Cleveland, Tennessee. For personal assistance, walk right in or come up to our convenient drive-thru. Crawford Pharmacy, serving our community one person at a time.
You're welcome back. And we're back. You're watching Tennessee Valley this morning. I am Rob Alderman. With me, as always, my stalwart traveling companion, the Hollywood Talk Twitflix.
Twitflix.
Yeah, I almost said
Not
Netflix.
Netflix.
Not
Netflix.
Netflix. Twitflix.
Joining us is Deanna, is it Prather?
Prather.
Prather.
Yes.
Whatever. It's not important.
Sure, it's just my name.
What's important is she is the so dork.
Yes. Yeah, my more important name is right there.
So dork.
So dork.
At So Dork.
All right, let's talk about Twitflix. What is Twitflix?
Twitflix is when Netflix and Twitter got together. They loved each other very much, and they had this crazy baby.
Can we say that on television?
We said short
I
shorts.
just
and
did.
We talked about the elderly being in short shorts.
Although,
we can
you
do
know what does slow down Alzheimer's is Twitflix. Because
Twitflix.
laughter is always the best medicine for everything.
That is probably true.
So you heard it here.
Why don't you tell us, So Dork, about Twitflix and why it's so wonderful?
It's so wonderful because, I mean, in this hectic life that we have now, you can't always just get together and watch a movie with your friends. But, you know, because we're all over the country, all over the world, you can all get together in different places, start your movie at the same time, and make fun of it together.
So that's where the Netflix comes in.
Yes.
So you've got people. Let's say you live in Chattanooga.
I live in Chattanooga.
All right, and Rob and I, we're here in Cleveland, and let's
Yes.
say we wanted to watch a movie together. Then we would Twitflix.
Yeah.
And we would I would pull it up on my Netflix,
Yeah,
and you'd pull it up on your Netflix.
Occasionally we use YouTube, but usually it's Netflix.
And then we all just go at the same time,
all go at the same time.
and then make fun of it.
Yeah. It's like your own personal riff tracks.
Now, I missed the most recent. You hosted.
That's right. I
And I
was.
was
Last
excited
night.
about it.
We were actually going to have Deanna on last week, and there was a problem, and we weren't able to do our show last week. So, but she had asked me if I would actually host one of their nights, and so last night was Wednesday night was the show the time that I hosted, and we did Annie, the 1982 movie Annie. And then after that, we did The Last Airbender. So we picked movies that are kind of up the middle. You know, they're not great, they're not terrible, but they're fun to make fun of.
And there's usually a theme. Our theme last night from Hollywood Slinky was things that should have stayed animated.
Because they were just better as the cartoons.
Yeah. I had never seen the cartoon version of Annie. I still love it, so I'm going to stay actively ignorant and not watch the cartoon.
Last Airbender should have stayed
should have
animated.
stayed animated.
I didn't get the chance to take part in it, unfortunately. Both times I missed the start of the movie, and I didn't know how to catch up to
It's
maybe
hard
where
to
we were
catch
going to
up.
be.
Well, you
But-
can always start whenever you are. We always start at 8:30 on the dot, according to the satellite time.
So whatever your cell phone or your computer says, we go by 8:30 on that time, and then if it's 9 o'clock, you just jump 30 minutes in.
Oh, she's a smart one.
Yeah, or you can tweet one of us.
That at so dork. She's so smart.
You can tweet one of us, and we'll also tell you what minute we're at.
And I can tell you that I was asked to host next week as well.
Now next week I won't miss. I'll fess up. Here's the fact. Everybody knows that The Last Airbender was a catastrophe.
Right.
When we say kind of up the middle, you mean horrible.
Sometimes.
But Annie's a classic, and it's a fantastic movie.
But it's rough.
But it is make funnable.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's not make funnable.
Musicals are always make funnable.
Sure.
But this next week, you're going to be doing the Wonderful Whites of West Virginia and Winnebago Man.
That's
which
right.
are two of my favorite films and two of the most make funnable films I can think
I
of.
was told that Twitflix had never had a documentary night.
This is true. This is a first for us.
And so I picked the two most ridiculous documentaries I could. And so next Wednesday night at 8:30, we will start with The Wonderful Whites of West Virginia. And it is Strange Truths night with Twitflix.
And that's going to be fantastic for those of you who've been following us for a long time. Both The Wonderful Whites of West Virginia and Winnebago Man have received greats from both of us and our guests over the last couple years when we've reviewed them. These are great films on their own, and when I say great, they're train wrecks.
Right.
I mean, they're hard to watch.
But they're hysterical.
But they're wonderful. So
now let me ask you, just so people at home know, when this happens, so it's basically people in their living rooms with Netflix.
Yes.
And then they sit with their laptops, their iPads, or their iPhones or smartphones with their Twitter account open.
Yes.
And then do they use a hashtag? Is that how they stay the same stream?
Yes, you search for hashtag Twitflix, and that's how you can see what other people are saying. You can comment back to them. I've made several friends through Twitflix. One actually just moved here. Got a job with Volkswagen and moved here.
Wow.
I like to say he moved here just to meet me, but, you know,
Whoa.
hey, Joe.
That's so dork. A bit of a man's lady.
Can you tell us how Twitflix started? Do you know, or who started it?
It started with Gen X Nerd.
I like that you brought props.
I did. And I just have to say that Slinky did not request my particular notebook, that I am also a fan.
I'm not going to lie to you at Sodork. We definitely have the geeks on this show.
Yeah.
So show away. Show away your Star Wars notebook.
This is not false advertising. I sew, and I'm a dork.
I don't.
It's a simple
No
name.
judgment.
No judgment here.
He is at Gangly Toes, and I am at Short Shorts.
Yeah, so. Ashley Rayburn, who's on our show all the time, he's like at Plays with Toys.
At Vomits Before Going on Air.
Yeah.
So yeah, Gen X Nerd is our fearless leader. We have asked Lights Camera Cleveland to host this month because he's on vacation.
So he also hosts a podcast.
He does, Traumatic Cinematic.
And that's where Twitflix started?
Yeah, they wanted to get together with other people that felt the same way they did about movies and see what other people would say.
Now, when you say other people that feel the same way about movies, what is the same way? What do you feel about movies? Because we're movie guys.
We love movies, but we realize there are some things that could be done a lot better. and it's always fun to point those out in a group of friends.
Well, let me ask you this, because I've participated a few times, not just in the night that I hosted.
Yes.
And there was one night, and forgive me, I don't remember what the movie was, but the movie was so bad that it wasn't even funny to make fun of. Now, have you found that there are certain types or qualities or genres of films that work better for Twitflix than others?
Yeah, those are usually the nights that I host. I tend to kill Twitflix.
Are you the Twitflix killer?
I don't know. I tell you, we got through halfway through The Last Airbender, and I was told I killed Twitflix.
That is true.
By someone you knew, and I was like by your wife or by someone you didn't
and
know?
I said, I said no. M. Night Shyamalan killed Twitflix.
Because I could see Carrie saying, honey, you've killed Twitflix, but this was someone you didn't even know.
Yeah, someone I don't know.
Wow.
It just gave me a migraine. I had to sleep all day just in preparation to get here.
It's bad.
It's bad.
So
pretty
if
bad.
people want to participate, it's next Wednesday.
Every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, we always start a new movie.
And it's #Twitflix.
Yes, you can go to twitflix.net and see our schedule for the whole month.
What's the worst movie you've ever had on Twitflix?
It was a Walter Matthau movie.
Pick one.
I'm Not Rappaport, I think was the name of it.
Oh,
And it was one that I picked. I love Walter Matthau, but I made the mistake of picking a movie I'd never seen. And it was so slow
Are most of the
and
people?
so boring.
I'm going
we
to
all
ask more
fell
because
asleep.
Slinky knows more about Twitflix than I do. So
So
I've
ask.
got questions. I have
Please.
questions.
I want to make
Okay.
sure the
First of
folks
all-
at home understand it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
first of all, if you're not a Twitter person, if you're not into Twitter, just forget about it. This segment doesn't apply to you. I'm not going to tell you to go.
You can
I'm
watch
not
on the
gonna,
website. No.
Here's the thing. What she just said, you're not going to do. If you're not into Twitter, you're not going to watch it on the website
Right.
either, so dork.
Okay.
Okay?
I'll give you that.
So just if you're not, then just go on to work. You don't need to be. And don't start a Twitter account thinking you're going to Twitflix because you won't. But if you are already like movies and you're already on Twitter, and so because that narrows the gene pool already, would you say is this a Chattanooga movement? Is the fearless leader a Chattanoogan?
No, he actually lives up north in Cincinnati, I believe.
Okay, so this how many people would you say typically participate?
It's becoming very Chattanooga heavy, though, or at
Because
least Chattanooga and Cleveland.
What I always thought, here's what I thought. I thought that this was Slinky and his wife watching horrible movies. Because since I didn't follow the hashtag,
All you saw was us.
All I
Oh,
saw
yeah.
was your two comments and whatever. And I thought you guys were just sitting around once a week watching bad movies and tweeting about them. So I would get up the next day, I'd check my Twitter feed, and it was like you and Carrie just sort of saying things about bad movies. But how many people do you think participate in general?
We've had as many as 20 one night. We had people as far away as Turkey, so that was pretty awesome. Actually, I found it first and brought Carrie and Ryan into it because they're friends of mine, and we would Twitflix together. It's really fun, too, if you're in the same room, but then you start saying the same things over
I
and over
love
again.
live tweeting. People
Yeah,
get
live
mad
tweeting is fun.
People don't like me because I like live tweet. That's when I have to put up with everybody going,
I love
why
live
don't you just have a real conversation with people? Like if I wanted to do that, I wouldn't be so glad Twitter was invented.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Live tweeting is a lot of fun.
I like to live tweet.
Yes.
I enjoy live tweeting. So
We had
yeah.
8 last night.
Mm-hmm.
so it's
That was
healthy.
a good group, and
That's
they
pretty
were
good.
all over the country.
What is so you picked the worst movie. What's the best
I don't know
movie?
that I picked the worst
What's
movie.
the best Twitflix experience that's happened?
Well, the most fun night for me was the night we did Jim Henson, and we did Labyrinth and Dark Crystal, and I believe you guys were there that night too.
So that's your
that was a
favorite.
lot of fun. Yeah.
Well, I can tell you this: if you can't Twitflix to Winnebago Man, you can't Twitflix.
This.
Tweeting.
So
the
she is
Winnebago Man.
at SoDork.
At Sodor.
He is at Rob Alderman, and I am at Hollywood Slinky.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
we're all at twit-flix.
_
Sorry.
Twit_flicks.
Well, at Sodork, thank you for being on our show. Next Wednesday at 8:30.
8:30.
The
every
wonderful
Wednesday.
Whites of West Virginia and Winnebago Man on Twitflix, hosted by our very own Hollywood Slinky. If you're Twitter fantastic, then hop on and join us. I'm doing it.
All right.
It's going to be tough to get through Winnebago Man with all the cursing. There's some pretty foul. Well, and the wonderful Whites of West
I
Virginia.
was going to say.
But they're documentaries, so it's okay.
Here's
That's what
the-
Dan
yeah.
Howell always told me.
Yeah, there's cursing in Winnebago Man, and I think The Wonderful Whites is really more like wife beating.
Yeah, wife beating and incest.
Right.
So
Strange truths.
it's going to be
Well,
a good night.
we have watched movies with cursing before, so I think we'll manage.
Well, thanks for being on our show. For those of you out there that are Twitter savvy, join us Wednesday.
There you go.
Yes.
We'll be right back after this.
Kyle Motors, 802 20th Street Southeast in Cleveland, is the place to find quality pre-owned cars and trucks. Kyle offers on-the-spot financing on all vehicles on the lot. Each pre-owned vehicle goes through a complete inspection to make sure each car and truck meets the Kyle Motors standard. Warranty and extended warranties available on all vehicles. Kyle Motors will sell you a car or truck that you will be proud to drive for many years to come. See Tony, Bill, Dale, James, or David and let them put you in your next quality pre-owned vehicle. Kyle Motors, 802 20th Street Southeast. Phone 790-7100.
Featuring some of the South's most scenic views, the Mountain View Inn has been a landmark in the Cleveland community for over 40 years. Our executive guest quarters with flat-screen TVs and excellent bedding will make any guest comfortable. Carrie's Restaurant is one of Cleveland's favorite, with one of the best buffets around.
Hello, and on behalf of the Hughes family, thank you for so many years of your business and your friendship.
At Crawford Pharmacy, we offer custom compounding. Our pharmacists are known for their attention to detail and unique expertise. So visit us at 2260 Chambliss Avenue, Cleveland, Tennessee. For personal assistance, walk right in or come up to our convenient drive-thru. Crawford Pharmacy, serving our community one person at a time.
Welcome back. This is the Hollywood Slinky. That is the Rob Alderman. And now it's time for
The Preview Review.
That's right. This is the part of the show where we basically go way out of our way to tell you what to think about movies that we've not seen.
We haven't seen these movies, but we're going to tell you yes or no. Is it money well spent this weekend? And we have 3 that you want to know about.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough weekend for folks.
Yeah, it's tough to decide, you mean. Tough to decide what movie they're going to see. Because we got 3 that I think people, you know, this is kind of one of those,
they're all
what's
good.
your mood? Like, this is a what's your mood. So let's start with the big one.
All right.
Let's go ahead and start with the Bourne Legacy.
Sure.
All right, people have been waiting for the Bourne Legacy for a while. This is the newest installment of the Bourne series. And what makes this one so interesting is it's a series that could have just gone away. Matt Damon did a great job. They were directed well. They were shot well. The stories were great. The books are great. If you like action and suspense and sort of political explosion drama.
And shaky cameras.
Shaky cameras, for sure. Then these are the films for you. But after the last one, people said, we're done.
Yeah, we're good.
But we're not done because now Jeremy Renner is here, and that kid is hot. We've been saying that for several years. We've been saying that ever since... oh, come on, what was the one where he was in the bombs? Jeremy Renner.
The Hurt Locker?
The Hurt Locker. No, that's Jake Gyllenhaal's The Hurt Locker, right? No, that is Jeremy Renner. I don't know.
Who's the movie guy? Raise your hand. Ding.
Yeah, okay. Anyway,
saying.
he's fantastic. He's been fantastic for a while. In this new one, I think what's most interesting about the new one is this. What we find out is that Jason Bourne was not the only one of his kind.
Gasp.
In fact, it is a government program
Gasp.
And now Jeremy Renner is out there trying to figure out who he is and how come he's so good at killing people.
The Belk, you say.
I do say. I'm giving this movie a great because, number one, Jeremy Renner has that thing. It's a thing that you're never quite sure what to do. It's not that his performances are so amazing, although I would wager he's the only good reason to watch The Town. And he's like,
Yes.
you know, outside of the Avengers, where he really didn't. He did his thing in the Avengers.
For those of you at home who don't know what the thing is we're talking about, let me share it. It's the Kevin Costner thing.
Yeah, the thing.
He doesn't have to do anything. He's not even necessarily a great actor always.
Right.
But just having him there somehow elevates everything.
But he was heck of a good in The Hurt Locker.
Yeah.
And we saw it there. And we've seen it several times throughout his career.
He was pretty all right as Hawkeye in the Avengers.
He did more with Hawkeye than anyone else could have, and that's because he's got the thing.
Right.
You know, he's only got to stand there and step in front of a bullet once and then be out of the movie the whole time as a bad guy, and then come back at the end and shoot some bad guys, and you're like, boy, that Hawkeye's pretty awesome.
Yeah, he's got the thing.
You know what I mean? He's
Right.
got the thing. I give it a great. Slinky?
I'm going to give it a great because it's got Edward Norton in it, and he can just about do no wrong.
And Albert Finney.
And Stacy Keach.
So it's on. If you're up for action, go see it. The other thing you're going to want to see, though, is if you're up for funny, it's time for the thing we've all been waiting for. Zach Galifianakis and Will Ferrell team up against each other. They don't really team up.
No.
They are locked in bitter political struggle in The Campaign.
This one looks so fantastic.
It will be great. I'm giving it a great.
I'm giving it a great, but Dan Howell will be offended by it.
I'm going to give it a great in the way that we give, like, the first Hangover a great. This is the one that everyone in Cleveland's going to see, but while they're watching the movie, they're not going to look at each other so that they can still look at each other later.
Right. This movie is really, well, it's just going to be, you know, it's going to be great.
It's going to be funny. The other one that's also going to be great is Hope Springs, starring Meryl Streep and Tommy Lee Jones, who don't know how to make a bad movie.
And
that's really all you need to know.
And Steve Carell, who can educate them on how to make a bad movie.
This is a movie about Kay and Arnold, a couple that have been married for a long time.
Decades.
And now their marriage is cooled off and they want to heat it up. So they go to see Steve Carell. Here's the point. Meryl Streep is always perfect. Steve Carell is great at what he does. But the reason to see this film's going to be normal. It's going to be every other couple's movie. But Tommy Lee Jones does not play a tough guy in this film. He actually plays a very quiet, shy, sort of awkward guy. It's a role that he's never done. It's a role that critics are saying is stretching him to his limits. And they say, you want to go see this movie because it's time to see Tommy Lee Jones give the performance you never knew he could give. And we all knew he was good at what he did. But now it's time to see him do something else. I give it a great.
I think I'm going to give it a great too because I'm feeling kind of like today is just a home run. Knock it down, bring it all home, and make it all great weekend.
So in the end, Slinky,
are
you can't go wrong this weekend. You can't go wrong. Get out there and see a movie. Until next time, I'm Rob, and I love Cleveland.
I'm Rob's toe, and I love Cleveland.
Let's all love Cleveland together. That's rough. You treat me rough.
It's gangly.
You treat me like a stranger, and it feels so rough.